There are now less than few days remaining to the earliest rumored date for the Galaxy S24 Ultra's release. Samsung's next anticipated flagship phone is likely coming in January to wage war on the titanium iPhone 15 Pro Max. Aside from the potentially earlier announcement and release date, we seem to already know a lot about the upcoming device thanks to the wide barrage of leaks and rumors flying around. One thing is for sure, the Galaxy S24 Ultra will be a major step in the Galaxy S series evolution going forward. Samsung is shaking up the camera setup at the rear of the Galaxy S24 Ultra. There will no longer be a 10x periscope camera, which has kind of been the highlight of the previous Galaxy Ultra phones. In its place, Samsung will be using a 5x telephoto similarly to the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Rumors have it Samsung would use Sony's IMX854 sensor for the 5x telephoto, which would peg the resolution at 50 megapixel. The sensor size with this bad boy will measure at 1 by 2.52 inch with 0.7 micron pixel. There's the very high possibility that the Galaxy S24 Ultra would still be a long zooming monster thanks to sensor cropping, so don't be so quick to write out that 100x space zoom just yet. Aside from that, Samsung will be keeping the 200 megapixel wide-angle sensor, but the Galaxy S24 Ultra will likely be featuring an improved 200 megapixel ISOCELL SP2SX 1 by 1.3 inch sensor with 0.6 micron pixels, which will be building upon the Galaxy S23 Ultra's spectacular camera. This leak comes straight from S24 on the social network formerly known as Twitter. According to the speculation, Samsung could ditch the dedicated 3x telephoto camera and continue to solely rely on the 10x periscope lens. What about zoom levels between 1x and 10x? Well, cropping in the 200 megapixel ISOCELL sensor of the main camera could allow Samsung to employ a hybrid zoom that emulates the function of a 3x camera, of course with a little help from on-device AI. Rumors also call for a 150x space zoom features, an even longer throw in comparison with the 100x space zoom on previous Galaxies. Another Galaxy S24 Ultra camera improvement might have a lot to do with software. Leaker Yogesh Brar, who has a very decent track record of correct leaks, has it that Samsung will actually be focusing on image post-processing to squeeze out better photos out of its already impressive hardware. Just like Google, which uses machine learning and AI to achieve great camera results. Some of the earlier rumors suggested that the Galaxy S24 Ultra could do away with the Sony IMX image sensor on its telephoto or periscope cameras and substitute these with its own ISOCELL sensors. This will possibly allow Samsung to have greater control over the image quality and improve the synergy between the different cameras. Samsung has filed for a trademark protection of a so-called ISOCELL zoom in the UK, which leaves a lot to the imagination. A proper flagship should have lots of storage. Even in the base version, the Galaxy S24 Ultra would most likely start at 256 GB of internal storage, just as much as the Galaxy S23 Ultra has, and also offer 512 GB of the stuff, as well as range-topping version with the whopping 1 TB of storage. Of course, the latter is quite expensive but could definitely fit all the photos and videos you are going to take with the phone. Now the most important part, should I wait for the Galaxy S24 Ultra? You should wait for the Galaxy S24 Ultra if you have kept yourself from upgrading the Galaxy S22 Ultra or Galaxy S23 Ultra and are rocking on an aging Galaxy flagship. Think Galaxy Note 9, Galaxy Note 10, Galaxy S10 Plus and Galaxy S20 Ultra. Upgrading to the Galaxy S24 Ultra from any of those will almost certainly give you insane value and a vast improvement of your overall phone experience. You should not wait for the Galaxy S24 Ultra if you have just scored a flagship in the last 2 years and have no qualms about it, as flagship smartphones have peaked long ago and the overall new tech adoption has somewhat slowed down. Upgrading every 2 years is no longer necessary. Thus, if you have a fairly recent phone that does the job for you just fine, it's somewhat unlikely that the Galaxy S24 Ultra will be the second coming of the praised. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.